down on Cape Cod for another episode of Restoring Little Girl. And I've already been down here a couple days, and I'm not getting anything done. Haven't even gone aboard, but I'm just, I'm trying to get a couple of things done before we leave. This has been kind of an all family thing because we didn't get a chance to be down here for Christmas, and we came down really just pretty much to be with my mom and dad and do a Christmas thing. I guess we're doing that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I do have a couple of things I'm working on. My little project of installing the new hand crank or hand pump faucet aboard Little Girl has hit a setback. I dropped it and broke the seal on the new line that I put on it, and so I'm having to redo that whole thing. That's going to have to be for another trip. Meanwhile, finally I got hold of the Batten material that came in, probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. My brother picked it up for me. I'd already paid for it. So anyway, and I've got, I'm going to turn it around here in just a minute and show this to you. I've got 8 feet of Batten material, which is going to be more than enough for the whole sail. But what happened last year was that the sail, I had all new battens in. I had made 2 new ones, and I had one of my old ones. And because of being way out on a mooring, and things were just not properly secured. I didn't have proper sail ties on, and the sail was apparently flapping in the wind out there while I was away. 2 of the battens just disappeared. And so at this point, I've just bought brand new batten material. I'm going to be making some new ones probably tomorrow. I'm going to get a chance to do this. I brought a hacksaw so I can do the cutting, and we'll try to get a couple things done on that. Also, I want to get my sail out tomorrow, and I'll probably have to do it downstairs here in the bedroom, and just get it wide open. Check those pockets, make sure that I know exactly where I stand as to the measurements and how many I need. There's a total of 4 battens on this sail. There's 3 going up the bottom part of the sail, and 1 in the very top, which is a smaller one. But the 3 going up the length of the sail, the outside of the sail, are pretty much all the same size. And so I'm gonna get that done tomorrow, and hopefully just at least get this much done on the trip. I mean, it was a major setback when I dropped my Stilly hand pump for the sink and broke the seal on that line that I had put on it so very carefully. Pain in the neck. So anyway, but we'll bring you up to date on that at another trip down here. Anyway, let me just show you what I got. I was really excited when I finally got the call from West Marine saying that they had it at the warehouse. Do you still want it? I had already paid for it, so hello, obviously I want it. Anyway, so I'm going to turn it around. It's not much to look at. It's basically 8 feet of batten material, and I'm going to get this very carefully measured out as far as the sail is concerned tomorrow, and then measure it out on the batten material and get this stuff, cut and properly sized and round the ends, smooth everything up. Nasty stuff on one hand because it is all fiberglass, and you can get these little fiberglass slivers if you're not careful. So anyway, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to turn it around and just show you this to you. No big deal, but this is what we're going to be working with tomorrow. And thanks for coming down and visiting on another episode of Restoring Little Girl. So let me turn it around. Well, here it is. It's the last time they shipped this in to me, it was on a piece of just a piece of scrap timber that was 8 feet long, and I don't know why this didn't come through this way. But anyway, my brother went and picked it up, and he's had it out in his shed. And so anyway, at this point, I'm just looking forward to getting this all marked out tomorrow, and yeah, it's going to be worth it. Gets the new sail battens cut. And I want to get them cut right. I don't want these things sliding out. They shouldn't do it anyway because of the way the sail is designed, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. So anyway, hey, like I said, thanks for coming by Restoring Little Girl, and we'll get back with you guys tomorrow morning. Figured I'd finally, after this now my 3rd day on the Cape, and let's go out and take a look at Little Girl. I've left her under wraps all the time. I've just got no time to get out there right now with all the family stuff going on. But I just want to see how she's doing. I've got the foredeck completely covered with 2 tarps because of the way that we cut the deck. I tell you, I hated that. I hated doing it, but I mean, it's got to be done, you know. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to go take a look at a little girl and see how she's doing, see how the tarp is held up. The tarp that's on her is very old. It's at least, what, maybe 3 years old now, and it's kind of had it. I really need to get a new tarp for her, but anyway, let's shut up and get over there and take a look at her. Yeah, that's looking exactly the way I want it right there. Both tarps just pulled nice and taut right over the foredeck. Here's the bow pulpit. Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. Good job. Okay, well, I did a good job cinching it all up. Perfect. Man alive. Well, good news, guys. That's exactly the way I wanted to see it. So, we're in good shape. I'm going to get out of here before I wake up my parents who are right there. All right. All right, well, good news. I love it. That was nice. Glad that got done. We're going to probably have to get up there later on today. I like I said, I almost hate to take all the back of the tarp. I'm not going to do this front at all. I don't think I'm going to take the tarp off of that until spring. And when we start cutting again. And like I said, it's got to be done. That foredeck was just mushy. And it needs a new decking. So anyway, okay. We'll probably get back out here later. There's one thing I want to get off the boat. I'm pretty sure that I left the all that material, that whole roll of nylon webbing, not nylon, I can't remember, no, Dacron webbing, whatever it was, that I bought for sail ties. Pretty sure I left that roll on there, and I really want to get that and get to work this winter and making some nice sail ties, so that when I put my sail away this year, it'll get put away properly, not have a rope wound around it from, stem to stern. It'll look like crap. And that's the thing that I'm confident was responsible for, having the sail battens just disappear on it. Whatever. All right, guys, I'm going to go grab some breakfast, and we'll get on with this. I'm going to get that sail out a little bit later and spread it out downstairs in the bedroom and check my batten pockets and begin making some new sail battens for a little girl. Back down here in the bedroom, getting ready to do this new segment. We're going to be unfolding the sail here in a few minutes, but I wanted to show you something first. In September of 2020, actually September 21st, 2020, we launched Little Girl. And it was the first, her first time in the water in many, many years after going through the bulk of the restoration that I had put her through. And on that day, I had my wonderful little logbook that I had all made up and ready to go. I also had my Eldridge, my very first Eldridge, I don't know what you want to call it, tide book that my brother had given me. And I didn't learn how to use it really well until the following year, but I mean, I had it, and I was starting to learn it. Anyway, I had both of those in a pouch, and I kept them on the boat. I had them in for that whole first season of all the sailing I did, the shakedown cruise and the trip out to the vineyard, all that kind of good stuff. All that got documented in the logbook. And then I came back after that. We pulled Little Girl out of the water. And then my pouch with the logbook and the Eldridge in it disappeared. And I don't know where they went. I mean, they just disappeared. And about a month ago, we were visiting down here on the Cape, and my mom says, "Do you know what that bag is hanging on the coat rack over there?" She says, "It's been there forever." I couldn't believe it. I went and got off the coat rack, and I opened it up, and there was my logbook, and there was my first Eldridge. And I was just ecstatic. And so this is the first time I brought it up here as far as my Restoring Little Girl videos. And I just wanted to share it with you this morning, just show it to you. What a treat to have found the pouch and all that stuff. I've long since moved on to, I think, a second and a third Eldridge, and now I'm using them, particularly last summer when I did the trip down to Wacoit Bay. I was definitely checking the tides coming in and out of Pollock. What do they call it? Pollock race. No, that's not the word. Anyway. And that's Pollock Rip, and because those are the tides that come along the south coast of the Cape, and I was having to check those very carefully so that when I left, I was not fighting against them, and when I came back, anyway, you get the idea. I did learn to use my Eldridge, and very handy. So, well, let me turn this around. I just wanted to share this with you before we unfold the sail and get to work on that. We're working on some battens here this morning. So, anyway. Kind of cool. I love it. Okay, hang on just a minute. Okay, I'm going to just turn this. I think I can just turn this down. Okay, so here, this is the pouch. And so cool. Let me get this. Okay. So anyway, the first thing I did when I got this was just open this pouch, this little lid right here. And there's my logbook. I love it. This is so cool. And on the opening day, the day I launched, there are the names of the 3 previous owners that were at the launch that day. So cool. I mean, I had it in mind to invite Ryan. I already knew him as one of the former owners, but then I contacted Marlene Sozyanka and asked her. She said, "Oh, sure, I'll be there." Then at the last minute, I contacted Susan, who was the one that actually I bought it from, she and her husband. And I thought they were in Florida, and she said, no, we're on the Cape for the summer. And she said, "I'll be there." So that was so cool. So that morning, three of the previous owners and myself all got together and took a picture of us. Just so cool, in order. Ryan, Marlene, and Susan, and then myself. So the names are right there, all signed in. And then I've got all the logbook entries for all the time that we put out on the water that first season. So happy to have that back. And then also in here is where's my zipper here? My first Eldridge, which these are only good for a year. Okay, but there's my first Eldridge for 2020. And anyway, so cool. I've got it back. And my new Eldridge for this coming year will go in here, and I will continue to use this pouch. Next time I will not lose track of it. I can't believe it. Anyway, just happy as a clam. I found my stuff, and particularly happy to have my logbook back. I'll tell you one thing I am going to do, then we're going to get on to the sale thing. I'm just going to say this now. I'll do it later. I'm going to go ahead and update my logbook on the basis of my solo that I did last summer. The thing is, because I videotaped all of that, right from the very start when I just got underway to the time I managed to, sail down there, put in for the night, all that is on videotape, and all that videotape is time keyed. And so I'll be able to pretty much do a fairly decent job of entering my very first solo in my little logbook, and kind of excited about that. So, all right, guys. Well, let's get on to the sail here and unfold it and do some measurements and get to working on cutting some sail battens. So that's not that one. That is. Oh, that is the right one. Okay, this one is a good fit. This is the one I had left, that I think I did this one last year. This is the bottom batten here. So we're going to move on up and do a measurement. See, some of the, I think the first two are identical. But let me go on up here. And okay, this is the one right here. Okay, so here's the next one. I'll show this in a minute, but okay, that one is quite a bit shorter. So we're going to have to take individual measurements. I must have done this last year. I didn't remember. I thought I remembered that two of these being almost identical in length. Okay, that's crazy. That one's the same size as the bottom one. Okay, take a break. I think I've got a phone call here. I'll be back in a minute. The third one up, I just checked that third batten. That third one up is the same size as the first one, which is really weird. That's really weird. Okay, let me check that other one. I was thinking that the bottom three were identical and only the top one was smaller. Okay, but that third one is literally just exactly the same size as the first one. I may get out a pencil and number these just to be sure. The beauty is that I've already got the one cut that fits perfectly, so that means all I've got to do is cut an identical one. So here's the second one up. This looks like it ought to fit. Let's redo this. Maybe I didn't just shove it in far enough. Okay, yeah, okay, that's good. So the bottom three are identical. That's good. It makes life a lot easier. So I just need to cut two more for the bottom, and then we need to take a measurement for the top one. So there's a total of three coming up to, is it the leech or the luff? I think it's the luff. Anyway, there's a total of three coming up, and all three are this size. I don't know if you can see me there. Maybe you can't. Anyway, all three of them are this size. I think it's about 18 inches, something like that. And this is absolutely perfect in length. This is one of the ones I made already. And so I just need to make two more of this, and we're going to take a measurement for the top one. So let me get back to this. I just realized you can't even see me as I'm trying to do this. Okay, so that one, this is number 3. Just checking after I moved everything around here. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's number 3 there. Let's see, one more. Let's go ahead and check the top batten. There it is. And this is a shorty. Okay. And I'm going to have to get my tape measure out to do a measurement on this. Oh yeah, that's only about, no, just probably 13 inches, something like 14 inches. Okay, so that, we have one more, and we're going to do a measurement on that. So we're going to make 2 of these, and then one more for the smaller, but I'm going to do a precise measurement on it before we do any cutting. And I'm going to go ahead and do the cutting out in the, can you see me? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and do the cutting out in the furnace room because I don't want fiberglass dust all over the place in here. Very uncomfortable. This is great batten material, but you got to be really careful because even as smooth as it is, and I use very fine, all the way down to steel wool to smooth this up, you can still get little slivers of fiberglass in yourself from this thing, and it's very uncomfortable. So anyway, I'm going to go get my tape measure here and do a measurement on that the top batten, and then we've got, there's our pattern for the other two that we've got to cut for the lower three. This will be the bottom, then we got to cut two more just like this. So let me get back to you in just a minute. The way that these pockets are designed is that they insert inside the edge of the sail like this, go all the way to the end, where the end of the pocket, and then because of the way that this is designed, they're stitched up to here, so they go all the way in, and then they slip, then you push them down so that they actually stay in the pocket. They use gravity. You look, this is the top side of the sail, this is the bottom side. In other words, this is boom side, this is masthead side. So you just slip them in, and then push them down so that they line up right along this stitch line, and they stay in the pocket. They don't work their way up out, theoretically. So anyway, I just did a measurement and slid this one in all the way to the end of the pocket. Okay, you see here I've made a mark right on the edge. Well, you can't, that's not your stitch line, so I just pull it back out, mark the stitch line, which is just right about there, and then I give it actually a little more slack to come just below that, and then I'm going to cut it off and round it off, and that becomes the length of the batten right there. And you can see it's about maybe 6 inches, about 6 inches less than the length of the other battens that go into this particular sail. So anyway, okay, I think we've got our measurements. The other ones that we are going to be doing, hang on, let me just pull this out a little bit. All these other ones are, I misunderestimated that one, are 23 inches. You know, these full length battens that go in the bottom three pockets are 23 inches. So we're good on that, and then we're just going to do one more that size, and we're good to go. So let's go out in the furnace room and do some cutting. Cutting this last one for the bottom pouch, or the bottom pocket. And the reason I'm cutting it a little bit, just a tad bit longer, the way that the edge of the sail slopes outward, in other words, it's at an angle, I can get away with just a little bit longer, and because of how it drops down in there. So I've done this, maybe 1/8 of an inch longer. We'll see. I mean, if we have to shorten it up, we can. But as of right now, I'm going to go ahead and cut it at this width, this length, and we'll just, as soon as we get it cut and to length, we'll go ahead and test it in that pocket. This is a new one I just cut, and I've already rounded the ends. I haven't done the 50 grit yet, but just slip it in here. Hang on. Oh, too high, too low. There we go. And it's in, and there it is. Perfect. Perfect, just laying right along that seam. Good deal. Good deal. This is a good one. So I got to do just one more of these, and we should be good to go on the all our sail battens for my ancient sail. And there we go. That was already. I'm gonna, just go cut one more. All right. And by the way, when I'm cutting this with a hacksaw, I just put my thumb right to that line and just put the hacksaw right against my thumb. You're not going to cut it because, I mean, the blade is down on the fiberglass, but I put it right to the line and let it come right down. It'll do it precisely every time. It's just a very handy measurement. Just get it right to that line, put the blade down, and just start sawing. And this fiberglass is soft enough to where if you got a decent hacksaw, it should go through it pretty quickly. In order that it not splinter, in other words, start splintering from the other side, I do a little bit of an into the edge turn it over and come on the other side and cut it, from the other side. That way you're basically cutting from both sides and you get a nice clean cut. Anyway, I'm going to check this and go ahead and start cutting. All done. These are all properly sized, rounded, smooth, all that kind of stuff. One last thing before you get done with the process, though. Get some steel wool, go down every single edge. Make sure you've got plenty of it between the edge of the edge of the batten and your thumb. Otherwise, you're going to get slivers. I already have one right there. I was not cautious enough and got a couple of slivers in my fingers in the process, but it's almost inevitable. Anyway, this is good material. I mean, it makes good battens and so forth. Like I said, it's fairly inexpensive. You got to order it out. You're not going to be able to go pick this up at a West Marine, but you can order it. They'll get it in for you. Then just take careful measurements, cut it, round it, smooth it, and use it. And so I now have a full set of battens to go in this sale for next season. Folded sails in the traditional manner, but my brother taught me to do it this way. And I'm not going to go into it again because I just did this in a matter of a few minutes. Bringing the peak all the way down to the clew, the inside bottom of the sail, and then just slowly but surely just doing fold after fold. Anyway, I'm not going to explain it. The point is, it works like a charm, and all I've got to do now is just fold this up into a neat rectangle, and we'll be good to go. And it'll go back in the corner until spring, and getting ready to put up the mast and boom, and put the sail on. And anyway, so we're good for the winter with a brand new set of sail battens to go in there for next summer. Pile my halyards and main topping lift and jib sheet over there, all kinds of goodies. There's my brand new sail battens. Well, what's going on here is you'll see the covers for my cushions for the quarter bursts, and this one is in good shape. There's no problem with it. This one, I have stitching ripped out on it, and it actually is missing the tab for the zipper. So this has got to go home, and everything's got to be restitched. I don't know. I'm hoping I don't have to remove the zipper. I probably won't. If I can just replace the tab and have it work within the zipper and then stitch everything back up. But anyway, I tried getting these on, and right now, because they were washed way, at the end of last season and sat and dried, and anyway, I'm not going to mess with it till later. This one is still in good shape. This one will eventually go on one of the cushion covers, one of the cushions. But this baby, this is going home. And in the meantime, guys, let me just turn this around. Basically what it comes down to is this was kind of an unusual trip. It was mainly all about family. It still ended up getting quite a bit done. I was glad to get the sail battens done, and get everything checked out. And next trip down, hopefully we can get back aboard Little Girl and maybe get that hand pump put back on and get the sink up and running again. So in the meantime, guys, hey, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl, and we'll catch you guys next time down.